It is nearly June of 2020. We are in the midst of one of the biggest pandemics we have ever experienced. And I am a furloughed pharmacist. Yes, you heard that correctly. I am a healthcare worker and I haven't picked up a shift in nearly 2 months. How did this ever happen? I don't completely get it. I can't really explain it 100%, but let me tell you my story. Hello, everybody. Welcome to RX for Fi. My name is Natalie, and this is my first ever video, so thank you for joining me for that. So my story starts in the summer of 2014. I graduated from the University of Toledo with my PharmD, or Doctorate of Pharmacy. I passed my board exam, I passed my law exam, and I immediately went into practice, into retail pharmacy. I think it was July 2014. And I was working retail for about 4 years. It was challenging. I worked very strange hours. I was tired and stressed a lot. So I wanted a change of pace. I took a job with Caremark, which is under the CVS Health umbrella. Caremark is a PBM, or Pharmacy Benefits Manager. You can think of PBMs as kind of a middleman. They negotiate prices between the insurance company and the pharmacy. It's rather complicated. I won't pretend to understand it 100%, but my job basically entailed sitting at a desk. It was a desk job. I was reviewing documents. I was looking at drug literature like Lexi, Micromedics, clinical pharmacology, the Cancer Network. I was reviewing all of that, reaching out to doctors' offices. I was basically evaluating whether a medication was being used appropriately, being utilized appropriately. And I was either approving or denying a claim. I realized that wasn't something I wanted to do for the rest of my career. 2 years of doing that pretty much satisfied my interest, and I wanted to continue to develop myself, and I wanted to expand into the hospital pharmacy field. As you can imagine, it's very difficult to find a job in hospital pharmacy if you have very limited hospital pharmacy experience. So I was working and I was kind of looking for opportunities a little bit, and I found an opening for a PRN, or an as-needed position with a very well-reputed hospital system here in Cleveland. They're all over Cuyahoga County. They have locations in neighboring counties. So even though it was an as-needed position, I was kind of interested. So I applied. I was called in for an interview, and I ended up having a very nice interview. The lady that was taking my interview, she and I had a very nice conversation. I try to be as transparent with her as possible. I let her know, hey, I'm not pretending to have a lot of hospital experience. I really don't. I'm trying to get my foot in the door. And she understood that, and she needed somebody to fill in gaps when people were on vacation. And she knew that there were 2 people approaching retirement age, and there was another woman who was about to go on maternity leave. So I was interested in that, and she was interested in me. She ended up giving me, offering me the position. So I gave my 2 weeks notice to Caremark, and that was in December of 2019. And I had a couple of days off, and I immediately started orientation with my new hospital job at the new hospital system. I was very excited. So my new job was challenging. There was definitely a learning curve, and everything was going great. I was filling in for the woman that was on maternity leave. So pretty much as soon as I started training, she had to leave She had to go on maternity leave, and I filled in for her immediately. I was working approximately 40 hours a week. I was getting $60 an hour, which is very respectable for a hospital pharmacist. I was having a great time, learning a lot. The people were super nice, and I was really enjoying myself. So that was pretty much through most of January, all of February, all of March. And then April came around. I worked for the first week. I worked through Passover, which I was a little sad about because I am Jewish, but they needed me, so I came in and I worked. And then it was a weekend. I think it was Sunday, April 10th, or maybe it was a Monday. And I got a call saying that, hey, thank you, but we actually don't need you today. I'm like, oh, okay. I did know that there was a lot going on in the hospital at the time. They had canceled all elective surgeries and procedures. And my particular hospital is a rural hospital. A lot of their income and profits depend on surgeries, orthopedic and bariatric surgeries primarily, and outpatient procedures. So they were taking a huge hit. They took a huge hit when all of that was shut down. My boss was in the office all the time, talking to her higher ups. They were trying to figure out what to do with the pharmacy department, all the other departments, huge budget cuts all around. But I diverged. What happened was one of my shifts was canceled. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. I get a day off. Weather was nice. I did some yard work. And then I get a call again from my boss the next day, and she's like, sorry, today's canceled too. And I don't know about the rest of the week, she said. We'll just keep in touch over the phone. And that's it. That's what's been going on pretty much ever since. I've been in touch with my boss over the phone. They have cut back hours 20% in my department, in the pharmacy department, for everybody. Even the full-time people who are working 5 shifts a week are now working 4 shifts a week. And they're giving preference to the full-time people. Makes sense. But it leaves me in a tough position because I'm as needed. So my hours are essentially the easiest to cut, and that's exactly what happened. The last shift I worked was April 10th, and today is May 29th, and I have not worked a single shift since then. All I've been doing is waiting and keeping in touch with my boss every now and then, trying to see what changes have been going on in the hospital. So I understand everything's up in the air for a lot of people, and I just want to say I'm right there with you, and I feel so bad, and I feel your pain. I'm kind of going through it too. All this insecurity, all this not knowing what's going to happen next. I literally just don't know. I have a job, but I don't know when I'm going to work. I don't know when I will be paid or when I will be needed. So I haven't been officially laid off. I haven't been fired. I haven't done anything wrong. It's just that the budget, the hospital is at half capacity. And there's nothing they can do. They can't afford to have another body there. And it just so happens to me that because of the nature of my as-needed PRN position, I'm the one they're going to cut first. So, all that sad stuff aside, there is a bright side. And that bright side is my savings. And I don't know what I would have done if I had not had savings. So just to give you a little background, I don't pay for housing. I live with my boyfriend. Our arrangement is that I pay for utilities and groceries, and he takes care of the housing and other stuff. And that's working out great. So he's been very kind and understanding throughout all of this. He himself has continued to work. He is a plumber, and he saw a little reduction in volume, but pretty much by now he's actually had a lot of work. People need their sanitary conditions. They need help with their plumbing. So his job is for sure essential, and I'm very glad we have his income to support us. Um, but I am without income, and I'm essentially living off of savings. And thank goodness for my savings. I don't know what I would do without it. I have been very fortunate. My career path is a well-paying one. My lifestyle is not particularly expensive, so I have had the opportunity to save a pretty large portion of my income. I'm doing all the calculations, so I can't give you an exact savings rate, but pretty much I had about 20,000 in a savings account and another 10,000 in a CD. So essentially that's what I'm living off of now. And like I said, thank goodness for that. That money helps me sleep at night. Um, that money allows me not to make rash decisions. Like I very well could freak out and quit this job that I wanted. I really did want this job. I wanted to get into hospital pharmacy. This is something I wanted to do. It's just very unfortunate because this pandemic kind of messed up my ambitions. It's messed up a lot of our ambitions. There's nothing we can do about it. But I could make a rash decision and quit my job and look for another, maybe in retail. Maybe retail's doing a little bit better because people still need their medications dispensed, even if they're afraid to go into the hospital. I honestly don't know how retail is doing right now. Don't know if it's doing better. But I feel like I've worked towards this hospital field. I wanted to give it a fair shot, and it would be not the brightest idea to give up on it now. So I'm trying to go through unemployment to see if I'm eligible. I'm working through that process in the meantime, and I'm trying to stay calm and stay put. That's my approach. Thanks to my savings, I can do that. It really helps. And I don't know how long this will last, but in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to try and not lose my head, and I will try and wait this thing out. I hope you are doing well. I hope your job has been spared. I hope there is peace and harmony in your life right now. And if you're a pharmacist in particular, I'm very interested in how you're doing and how life has changed since the pandemic. So please reach out to me in the comments section. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what life is like. I'm genuinely interested. And yeah, I hope all of you are doing well. So please hit subscribe. Keep watching my channel. There's going to be some more fun and interesting stuff. I did just get a puppy. Yeah, pandemic puppy. So I will introduce you to her in my next video. Have a great day, guys.